latest one. They've never been audited since that I know of. It's a very complex situation. What these Bilderberger Group guys do is they get information from both right-wing, left-wing, and all the major corporations as to what they would like to see happen. And, of course, a lot of them are all out for their own particular interest to make money. It's all about money.
Yes.
And then they sort of go on their own route to, after they got all the input, to control the world, basically. And that's basically all it is. It's how it works.
All right. Yeah, we could see this playing out right now. You mentioned that, Henry, that we had the nobles and the kings and so on. Then we have the peasants, and we can see that heading that way now. We're in that pattern in this nation, the number one nation for so many years. And now we're getting into the swing where the money is being drained out of the middle class, and it is going into the elitist, as we see the oil companies making historic profits, and many other big companies making historic profits, as now we have to adjust to live a lesser life and get used to it, because it's not going to swing back. Everybody's waiting for the economy to come back. It's not going to come back. We got to get used to this dumbed-down society and economy that we're in now. And that's part of the plan, right? To get us back to that point where there are the elitist ruling things, and then there's the peasants who are going to have very little. And when you have very little and very little money, you have very little power.
They can step in like the heroes, the saviors, after they reduce these nations to rubble over there, basically. Now, you got to understand that Obama was actually bankrolled by the major banks. Mm-hmm. And they had sold so many bundled mortgages overseas that if they had not bailed those out, there would have been a world collapse of the economy. So he had to give them about $1 trillion to these bankers, and they reimbursed these foreign nations. But they gave themselves all multi-million-dollar bonuses because of the money that was coming in.
Sure.
And then, the money left the country. Now, we've got the Republicans and the Democrats in this country, and the Republicans want to cut spending, cut government spending. Well, they can't do that. It never can happen. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have money in the bank, you can't make loans to businesses. And then they've been on an agenda to basically destroy the country by shipping the jobs overseas with NAFTA. And then we can't drill oil wells. We can't hardly do anything in this country anymore because of all of the restrictions imposed on us by various government organizations. So what we need here is to have money available to expand businesses, then people would have jobs. And nobody seems to understand that. Instead of giving $1 billion away, money never trickles down.
Yeah.
It always trickles up. Now, yeah. So if they had taken that money and divided up and give every person in America, or every business, or every person with a business license in America, about $300,000, just hand it over to them. Or say it's a loan, for example, they could pay it back even in 5 years or something. They would take that money and put it in the small banks, that $300,000, each small business, right? Mm-hmm. And then the small banks would have more money to lend out, and the country would be booming right now.
Instead, the small banks went under.
And they would pay their income taxes. They'd have a lot more tax coming in, and the government would get it back in income tax in 3 years just by giving it away. Even if it wasn't a loan, they just hand it out to them. They would have to report it as income, and government would get it back anyways in 3 years. And they'd have all kinds of money, and we'd have a great economy in this country. But no, they had to give it away to the top bankers who waste it on themselves and ship it to their buddies in their Swiss bank accounts. And that's why the country is failing right now. We just need more money to expand our businesses and hire people and get things working. But for some reason they want to control us, and they can't do that. I don't know why, but...
And then they use our money in these wars that we really have no business being involved in. And in the Middle East, there's a tremendous amount of money we're spending over there daily, hundreds of billions. And it is also to control not just the United States. We're really a pawn in these people's hands, including our military, right? They're being used as a pawn to also manipulate countries in the Middle East and elsewhere around the world.
We are joined at the hip with Israel. We have to defend them because and they are sort of, this was all done back in 1948 where they gave them that little strip of land over there. I had to take it away from Syria and others. And we've been handing out foreign aid to these countries for years. We bankrolled the Shah of Iran several $billion a year, and then they took over with the Ayatollah and kicked him out. And then we've been giving President Mubarak, actually Egypt, we've been handing out $1 billion a year for years. And it keeps their countries afloat. But I don't know, each one of those little dictators over there, that rulers, if they have any brains at all, would at least stash away a few million